one of the big challenges really with any instrument, but especially a fretless instrument, is your intonation. What we're going to look at is the use of a drone and also what one of my teachers called swimming laps. And we may even look at some half steps, some whole steps, some sliding exercises. So we'll just see how long this intonation series lasts, but let's get it going. So let's start with, we're going to look at a D note. So we've got this lovely open D, which on most upright basses is going to be one of your more clear, more full, vibrant, voluptuous notes. I just feel like on most uprights, you might have a low E and an A that might be kind of clunky or muddy. A G might be a little too bright on some, but I feel like on most basses, or maybe it's just me, the D string is usually pretty great. So we're going to use this. This can be even your own drone, but you can also either record a drone or you can look one up. I like to use cello drones a lot because they're very soothing. If we're at first just looking at this high D on the G string, for some walking lines especially, you might want to go hit this high D, right? I realize a lot of times for Americana, folk, bluegrass things, you might not be hitting this high D very much, right? But I feel like for solos, for walking lines, it's good to know where it is and to be able to hit it. Because if you're down here, you know, in first position, rocking away, right, doing your thing, you might want to go hit that high D, right? So you want to be able to get there and then get back. So one of the first exercises I like to do is even just, I've got this D and I'm going to go find this high D just with my index finger, and I'm just going to listen to octaves and get that sound in my head and kind of relax into it. So not everybody can hear octaves very well, right? So you can try, like, does that physically like resonate with me? Because sometimes it is more of a kind of a visceral sense if we're in tune more than anything. You can also be thinking of references, the first two notes of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, even though it may not be in this key. But you've got da, 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 da. That's an octave. Somewhere, right? So if that helps you to hear an octave, use that reference or anything else that you think of. But if I hit them at the same time too, and now I'm going to intentionally be a little flat. So I'm just going to move my finger a little bit. And I can kind of feel how that feels in my body, right? And so it doesn't quit. So then I slide back up. Now I'm going to be intentionally sharp. That also, you're right. You gotta get you the eye twitch. And so it's also great if you do use the bow or even are kind of dabbling in using the bow. Having a sustained note really helps your intonation. So and here I can do that same thing where I'm going to be just a little flat, then just a little sharp. Right? So I'm kind of, it's also a little bit practicing, not exactly being comfortable with being out of tune, but feeling what that's like and knowing how to get back in tune, right? Because a lot of times we freak out in the moment, or we know we're not in tune, but don't always know which way to go. And so we're just kind of having a nice controlled situation here where you can get back in tune, right? So then I would do that with each finger that I would normally play that D with. So I might play it with my pinky, right? I might play it with my middle finger or my index. So here too, I'm looking, can I get that note to sound the same with each of those fingers? So because there might be one that I can't, you know, maybe I feel like I have to work harder with my pinky. What I also like about working on this D is it's a really comfortable position because my shoulder and my elbow get dropped, rather than if I'm back here like in half position or even first position. You can immediately feel your shoulder raise up, right, and feel like you're working a little harder. So here, it's generally, it's a more relaxed position. Then I can play with plain relaxed, plain in tune. So this brings us to another part of intonation, is this swimming laps concept. So I pick a note, a D, and we're going to basically find all the Ds that we can on our instruments. We may not go clear up into these harmonics up here, but I'm going to start just with my open D because it's a good reference, right? And I'm going to go to the G, and then actually what I'm going to do is play this D in between each other D, so I've got a reference, and we'll try it with the drone too. So we've got this one up on the G string that we were trying. You've got a harmonic up here. And you can see I was a little sharp, so now that I'm honing in on that one, now I'm going to try it with a couple different fingers too, right? So this D here, I'm probably not going to play with my pinky, just my pinky's too short. But I will play it with my ring finger, unlike this D here. I'm more likely to play that with my pinky. So, and you can also slide into that note. And you can approach it either from above or below and just see, can I hone in on that? And then you might try out your bow there too and just try it pressing down or the harmonic, right? And so I'm just touching the string. And what the beautiful thing about harmonics, they're great for working on your intonation too, because if you're off just a little bit, like here, I can still get the harmonic. It's not quite as clear, but as soon as I press down, I can hear that I'm sharp. So they're kind of great for intonation too. Okay, so we found 2 Ds on the G string. We've got the open D, then we've got our 12th fret harmonic, right? And you can do the same thing here. And here, I might try it with my thumb as well as fingers 1, 2, and 3, just to see, again, can I get a consistent sound? All right, so now let's go find Ds on the A string. You've got one that would be fret number 5. And so this is also kind of a great exercise for just kind of getting to know the voice of your instrument, right? Because this open D sounds quite a bit different than, or maybe not quite a bit, to me, standing right here. See, that one's doesn't have quite the overtones. And there might be times that I prefer that D, right, to this one. Or vice versa. So we've got that one. So you could slide into the next D. Right? And I've got a little buzz there that I need to take care of. But I can find it, right? And now, let's go find D's on the E string. And these might be a little awkward, right? And I don't play that note hardly ever, right? But I like knowing where it is. This one I might play a little bit more, right? And again, I'm gonna see what fingers kind of feel decent there. And so if I'm